Hi, I'm Michael Kurosh. I live in Santa Barbara, California, one of the most beautiful places on earth. My design center is where people come to reimagine their homes and spaces. I work with the best designers, clients with broad tastes, and experts who navigate the fascinating world of design. I'm always excited to learn something new, and I never say no to a challenge. This is Design Santa Barbara. Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. I'm Michael Kurosh, and today we are in Reykjavík, Iceland. Iceland is an island in the Atlantic between North America and Europe. It is roughly the size of Colorado and has 370,000 population, so very dispersely populated. But Reykjavík, the capital, has 2/3 of the population. It's a stunning, beautiful country. Let's go look at its views and enjoy this country. Please join us. First and foremost, when you travel, it's wonderful to do it with family and friends. On this trip, I was fortunate to have my two wonderful kids with me. It enriches your experience and makes traveling a whole lot more fun. Now let's learn more about Iceland's history and incredible scenery. Iceland is at the juncture of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. The main island is entirely south of the Arctic Circle, which passes through the small Icelandic island of Grimsey, off the main island's northern coast. The earliest recorded settlement of Iceland is dated at 874 AD when Norsemen arrived. It was initially named Snowland, but upon observing the giant icebergs breaking away from the island, it was renamed Iceland. After a Swedish explorer circumnavigated the island and returned to Europe with his findings, many decided to emigrate, establishing a community on the site of the modern-day Reykjavík. By 930, most arable land on the island had been claimed. The Althing, a legislative and judicial assembly, was initiated to regulate the Icelandic Commonwealth. The lack of arable land also served as an impetus to the settlement of Greenland starting in 986. The Icelandic Commonwealth lasted until the 13th century, when the political system devised by the original settlers proved unable to cope with the increasing power of the Icelandic chieftains. The internal struggles and civil strife of the age of the Sturlungs led to the signing of the Old Covenant in 1262, which ended the Commonwealth and brought Iceland under the Norwegian crown. For the next 600 years, Iceland traded hands between European nations. The harsh terrain of the island proved difficult to settle, and numerous disasters, including the plague, volcanic eruptions, and famine, often left the population decimated. Following the Napoleonic Wars, a movement toward independence took hold. After the signing of a treaty declaring Iceland a continued dependency and a period of cooling years, over 1/4 of the island's population emigrated to Canada. In the wake of World War I, Iceland declared independence, and towards the end of World War II, a referendum was called upon to abolish its monarchy in favor of a republic. The vote was 95% in favor, and in 1944, Iceland elected its first president. The post-war era was especially prosperous for Iceland, with the United States Marshall Plan benefiting the citizens of Iceland on average more than any other European nation. In the 1970s, a series of micro-wars took place between the United Kingdom and Iceland over fishing territory. These came to be known as the Cod Wars. In 1980, Iceland became the first nation in the world to elect a woman president. When we come back, we will talk about Iceland's incredible natural beauty. Stay tuned. There's more Design Santa Barbara after the break. Today we are with Jess, the owner and creative director of Just LED at the Santa Barbara Design Center, and he's a marvel of lighting. So I understand there is a new recessed lighting that replaces the old clunky big ones, is more ergonomic, and you carry these. Can you explain to our viewers what this is all about and what kind of benefits they get out of it?
Yes, Michael. Traditionally, 6-inch and 4-inch has been the standard across America. The big clunky trims on the ceiling, you'll see them all over America. Since LED has come to another level on recessed fixtures, and as a designer, we like to see tight little go-away trims that you don't see, they're up in the ceiling. So we have trims that are 3.5 inches that go, the light sits up in the ceiling, so when you walk in it doesn't hit you in the face like the 6 and 4-inch traditional cans used to do. They also dim warm, so it's like the old traditional dimming. Everyone loves LED dimming to the way halogens used to. It's called warm dim, so they dim down nice and warmly. So, and it's all sat above the ceiling and it's all optical, sending shafts of light through the room, creating a great mood in the room.
Well, that's very nice, and I have seen it actually in your showroom. Come down here and see what he has to offer and make your house beautiful and warm. Thank you very much.
No problem.
This week on Michael's Minutes, we are going to talk about sectionals. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we will custom build a sectional to your specifications at our factory right here in California. No room is too big or too small. Our line of comfort sectionals are built to the exact size and shape you need for your room. Let you and your family enjoy the luxury of angel hair wrap, the most comfortable seating in the world. Choose from multiple colors and stain-resistant fabrics that can withstand children, pets, and spills. But don't just take my word for it. Come into Santa Barbara Design Center at 410 Olive Street and feel the comfort of a new sectional for yourself. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. Today we are in Iceland exploring some of the most unique natural features of this country. Please join us. Iceland is at the juncture of North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Iceland is the world's 18th largest island and the second largest in Europe after Great Britain. Over 60% of Iceland is tundra. Geologically, Iceland is part of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. A ridge along with the oceanic crust spreads and forms a new oceanic crust. This part of the mid-ocean ridge is located above a mantle plume, causing Iceland to be above the surface of the sea. The ridge marks the boundary between the Eurasian and North American plates, and Iceland was created by rifting through volcanism along the ridge. Today, visitors can see active eruptions and lava flow. It's truly incredible to see nature's raw power. Many fjords puncture Iceland's 3,000-mile coastline, which is also where most settlements are situated. The island's interior, the highlands of Iceland, is a cold and uninhabitable combination of sand, mountain, and lava fields. As we said earlier, the capital of Reykjavík has a population of over 200,000 people, roughly 2/3 of the island's total residents. The term geyser originated in Iceland with one of the world's oldest and most consistent geysers erupting every 8 to 10 minutes. On ongoing volcanic activity in the region makes Iceland an ideal location for scientific research. After an eruption in the 1960s, a whole new island was formed nearby and now serves as a research outpost for volcanologists. A major eruption on the main island in 2010 caused a global travel stoppage as ash spread thousands of miles across the planet. The only indigenous animal on the island is the Arctic fox, whose existence on the island predates humans. I cannot say enough how beautiful this land is. It was one of the most majestic locations I have ever visited, and I have been fortunate enough to travel the world. If you ever get the opportunity to see this incredible land of fire and ice, I encourage you to take the chance. We will be back with more Design Santa Barbara after the break. I truly hope you enjoyed this view into Iceland and a glimpse into its fantastic landscape and its powerful natural wonders. I recommend you to go and visit. My grandfather taught me about the beauty of the rugs. Each one tells a story. Story about the person who wove it, the person who bought it, the person who inherits it, the person who treasures it. It's amazing how simply looking at an object can bring you back to a different place and time, or remind you of someone you love. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we want to help you find the rug that will travel through time with your family for generations to come. Visit us at 410 Olive Street and find your treasure today. Let's talk about my favorite subject, rugs. Here at Rugs & More inside Santa Barbara Design Center, we pride ourselves in offering the finest selection of rugs. With any size, shape, and design imaginable, let us help you find the ideal rug for your home. We have a vast assortment of new and antique rugs. Whether you're looking for a touch of modern or an heirloom that can be passed down for generations, you will find it here. Also, we offer expert repair and cleaning to bring your treasured family rugs back to life. Don't settle for poorly made internet rugs. Let's get real. They are made with harmful chemicals and they don't last. Our rugs are the best for less, and we always offer our 110% lowest price guarantee. And to save even more, come in during our rug sale and let our expert staff guide you to the perfect rug. Rugs & More inside Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive Street. This week on Design FYI, we're going to talk about sofas and the unknown mistakes people make. Did you know average American spends 46 minutes a day in a car? But they spend 5 hours and 4 minutes on average on a sofa. So why would you go out there and spend tens of thousands of dollars for something you use for 46 minutes and then go ahead and buy something cheap that you sit on it for 5 hours and 4 minutes? At Santa Barbara Design Center, we create you a custom sofa that is made for you specifically and to your shape and size and comfort and your family. So when you're sitting and watching TV or talking and conversing with your friends, you're sitting on actually something that represents you. Your car represents you, why shouldn't your sofa? Thank you for joining us on Design FYI this week, and please come see me at Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive, and let me help you find the right sofa for you and your family. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. We are now going to explore the history of a great work of art. Please join us. The Madonna della Pietà, commonly known as La Pietà, is a Roman Catholic sculpture of Jesus and Mary after the crucifixion and a key work of the Italian Renaissance. Carved by Michelangelo, La Pietà was completed over a 2-year period in 1498 through 99 and is now enshrined within St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. It is the first of a number of works of the same subject by the artist. The statue was originally commissioned for a cardinal of France serving as ambassador in Rome.
The Carrara marble sculpture was made for the Cardinal's funeral monument, but was deemed too important to be used as such. It is the only piece Michelangelo ever signed. This interpretation of the Pietà is unprecedented in Italian sculpture, because it was balanced the Renaissance ideas of classical beauty within naturalism. Pope Urban VIII venerated this sculpture in 1637. It was relocated to the Chapel of the Holy Choir within the Basilica in 1749. During its move, several of Mary's fingers were broken off and the sculpture was professionally restored, though some scholars wonder if the placement of her fingers were altered by restorer. After over 450 years of open public display, a deranged man attacked the sculpture with a hammer in 1972, leaving considerable damage. La Pietà was painstakingly restored and today sits behind bulletproof glass. It is seen by millions around the world every year.
Thank you for joining us as we learn about this important work of art. We will be back with more Design Santa Barbara after the break. Today on Design FYI, we're going to talk about what not to buy when you're going shopping for rugs. Most big outlets or national chains, they sell nowadays hand-tufted rugs. This sounds like it's hand knotted, it's done by hand, but actually they are not. It's called hand-tufted and is actually a gun that rolls the wool around the warp, and they are not good rugs at all. So this is a sample we're having here for you to see. Anything that has a backing like this, flip your rugs over at home, see if it has a backing, is absolutely not good. So what it does is it hides what they did below this thing, which is a latex glue, which actually is toxin. And if you have got any rugs over the net, I hate to say it, over the net, because it's easy to sell and they're inexpensive, you buy these things over the internet. So when it comes to your house, they smell. Have you noticed that? They smell more like a gasoline or more like a diesel because they don't let the latex cure. And the latex that glues this wool to this backing smells a lot. On top of that, they shed quite a lot. The wool is cheap because they need to be inexpensive and they shed. I would not recommend you to get anything, again, that has a backing and is glued because it comes apart very easily. It is temporary. It is not a green product because they wear very quickly, end up in the fill, and just basically as a landfill junk we are adding to our planet. The things I would recommend you to get, unlike these things that have backing, is the rugs that they have nuts to them. So as what to buy, I highly recommend you to get some rugs that they are hand knotted. And how you can see, flip it to the back and you can see the knots are done individually and each one is slightly different than the next one because they're done by hand and the intensity of the wool and the pull they have, the weaver, makes them look different. Also the sides are done by hand. That you can see very easily. If you want to buy a real rug, please come to Santa Barbara Design Center and I can gladly help you. Thank you for joining us on Design FYI, Santa Barbara Design Center, Fort and Olive. This week on Michael's Minute, we are going to talk about modern and transitional rugs. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we have over 1,000 modern and transitional rugs at any given time in various sizes and colors. A modern or transitional rug can completely transform your living space. It can make a cold room comfortable or balance out an uneven contrast. We can also custom make the modern rug of your dreams, designed to your specification, taste and color. And at Santa Barbara Design Center, we can do it faster, better, for less. That's why the top designers in the world use our modern and transitional rugs. To see our vast collection or start designing your custom masterpiece, come visit us at Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive Street.
On Design Santa Barbara today we're going to talk about rugs. I cannot help it, it's my favorite subject. So this beautiful piece is from Afghanistan, northern Afghanistan, southern Russia, and close to Turkmenistan. These are Ersari tribe. Ersari tribe they are a Turkmen tribe. They are from original Turks actually. They live in Turkey is in the western of the Caspian Sea. These original people live in the eastern part of the Caspian Sea. And they have been there for a good 2,000-3,000 years, although within like about 1,000 years ago they started migrating toward Turkey. So this particular one is a very interesting piece. It's mostly used for the front entrance of a tent. So the tents are yurts. The tents they use are not the four corners we use, they are the round ones, and they have an opening in the front that they weave this particular rug that's called hatchli or enzi to hang in front of it. Used to have the corners used to have ropes to secure it to the front. What they try to do is they try to mimic the wooden doors that they see in the villages. So they wove that wooden door with their own design and elements to hang in front of the tent, so the wind, the cold, the animals don't come in, and the heat from inside doesn't go out. This particular one is in a very good shape. It is a mid-19th century piece, and mid-19th century translates to like about 170 years of age nowadays. It usually, look at it, the bottom part gets worn on these pieces because it's dragging to the ground, and the ground is dirt, is stones, is sandy, and very rough. But this one has stayed in a very good shape. There's two reasons to it. First of all, it has been woven very finely, and perhaps this didn't last long with the tribe. So maybe they used it for 10 years. Somebody came along and they sold it to the merchants, because these were very much in demand in the 19th century in England and Europe. It has interesting elements. First of all, it is the finest wool you can get. It is sheep's hair, and when the sheep are young, they have finer hair, and that hair translates to much better wool. It has a lot of lanolin. You put your finger, after 170 years, it still has some fat coming out of it. It is on a goat hair foundation. So the goat hair is hard to make the knot, but actually is a very sturdy, long hair that they can use for the foundation of the rug. Then we have the wefts that they are made of wool as well. The edges are made of horsehair. Horsehair, I've seen pictures, and what happened is snakes don't cross the horsehair band. It is a very interesting thing. I don't know why, but snakes, and these people live in a dry area that has poisonous snakes, will never cross this. So as long as you may be sitting on this or whatever, snake will not cross it. The designs on this very interesting. You have this beautiful tulip opening up. It is a sign of youth, is sign of rebirth, and they come up the first days of spring is sign of renewal. You have this ram's horns. If you isolate this design, is a ram's horn. Ram's horn sheep are the staple of these people. It's the wealth of these people, and they are their livelihood. So very important in their life. But also this design at a later point, or actually earlier point, I don't know which one comes first, these people live on a silk route and they go to Armenia. If you look at it, this is a cross, and the cross in Armenia has been used since the 2nd century and is a very old design. You have the ram's horn here again. You come up, you have this beautiful tree made of bird heads. If you see, these are bird heads in a trellis. Very artistic. The lady who wove this must have been out of this planet. These are dragons. These are stylized dragons. Dragons play a very important role in this people's lives, and that's a dragon right there. You have a tree of life. If you see again with bird heads, is a tree of life that grows here right in the middle. You have ram's horn at top of that little building, if you see at the very end. You come up here, you have the 8-sided star. You have this little motifs they call göz, is against evil eye. come out a little bit more, again, you have these crosses, which is the ram horns, as well as the cross they inherited from Armenia, but then Armenians again inherited this from another culture which is before them. You have in the border, once again, you have this beautiful design, looks like a Hermes buckle, but it's not. It is the ram's horn again, this way. And the colors they use in this are magical. You think about it, they're living in this dry, arid climate and not too many plants grow in there. But they used this color, which is eggplant. They take the eggplant shells, they cook it, they get that color. This is indigo, is a very saturated indigo. This is another indigo. This is hard color to get, it's a blue-green. So they take the indigo, they add yellow to it, like a weld or saffron to create that color. You have the white, which is a natural color. You have the brown, which is again natural wool. And if you can see these different layers of wear, because the dyes and the wool wear differently. So the corrosion is different, gives different heights. That's how you can also learn about the age of the rugs. You figure out how old they are, because it takes roughly 100 years at least to one color to get corroded, and then to get a second color corroded, that's another 20-30 years, and then so on. We had a rug hanging here before, it was 500 years old, and it has like 6-7 different layers of corrosion. All in all, is an artistic piece, is a master work. This lady who wove this probably took her a good 4 seasons, and 4 seasons, not 3 months. Their seasons are 6 months, because they move to lowlands in the winter and they move to highlands in the summer. Every season is 6 months. So it took roughly 2 years just to weave it, and then took probably a year or so to prepare it. She needs to shear the wool, card it, spin it, and then dye it, and it's just a wonderful piece. Again, is a Ersari Turkoman, 1850s. Come and feel it, touch it, and get inspired by it. We have it in the Santa Barbara Design Center. Thank you.